You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. Presented by G2G Bars. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. It is our NFL Draft Preview Show here on the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Curie, Jeremiah Jensen, of course. That's the JJ and Alex portion of the program. Blessed today to have the presence of Stevenson Sylvester in studio breaking down all these guys. You know what's funny is, like, what did they run on the 40? What did this guy run on the 40? What was his vertical jump? Which one is the one that actually translates the most, Sly? Like, does the vertical jump, is that just to show off because, hey, I'm an athlete, and it's a big middle finger to everybody if you have a 40-inch vertical jump? Who was it that had the insane vertical? It was Cole Bishop, wasn't it? He had
they both, him and Sione Vaki.
39.
Cole's a freak athlete.
Cole had 39, and Sione had a 38.5.
My goodness.
They were as all the categories, they were in the top 3 of all the safety drills.
We'll get into it, but you talk about Jackson Powers Johnson being the guy of this group to have with the chance to be the
vertical.
best. Yeah, too many pancakes in his gut.
How dare you? How dare you?
Too many pancakes. But the best chance to have the best NFL career, and I agree with that. I think he's Jason Kelsey 2.0. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be great. But my next guy would have been Cole Bishop.
Yeah.
Because he just has that freak athleticism, a ball hawk. He can get interception. He can also play up in the line of scrimmage and make tackles in the run game. He's so versatile and athletic that he's going to really excel in the NFL level as a safety.
First of all, 32-inch vert for the big man. All right?
Oh. Did he get a basketball vertical where he had to get a running
able to
start?
dunk? I don't know. Look, but yeah. By the way, didn't run the 40. Didn't do the 3-cone drill.
Don't need to.
He did. He's like, I don't need to do any of that stuff. What is my bench? How many reps did I do on the 225? That's kind of what people want to know for guys like him. Let's jump into the show officially, though. Let's get things kicked off as we always do here before we get jumping into these University of Utah players that we're going to break down here with Sly. Our program is brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar. Costco, Holiday Oil, Maverick, Associated Foods, popping up also at at Smith's and 7-Elevens across the valley as well. So check them out. But let's kick the show off as we always do here with the cut at the top of the hour. Let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Everybody shut your mouths. We got stuff we got to talk about. Hold on.
You shut your mouth when I'm talking to you.
Here comes Commissioner Goodell. Everybody shut up. Look away. Here comes Commissioner Goodell. He's like, did somebody make fun of me in Salt Lake City? They won't get a franchise as long as I live. Don't let it happen. My favorite part is they're making these draft promos with Eminem and boy, I said that as like my mom would have said it. Eminem is doing some promos and he's a rapper, so that's great. And the NFL needs some street cred.
You said like my mom.
I know it's but they did do a commercial that was like, hey, we're trying to give some street cred to the commissioner. And he's like, do I get it? And Eminem goes, no, absolutely
I'm
not.
Eminem.
Oh, here it is.
This is Roger Goodell, and we are so fired up this year for the NFL Draft.
Live from the D.
You can just say Detroit.
That's what I said.
You said the D.
That's Detroit.
You don't want to say
Am I
that.
being
Can't
punked?
say that.
D.
Eminem staring down Roger Goodell is actually my favorite thing. Like,
He does have a good desk there.
you're screwing this up. All right.
Am I really supposed to believe that Roger Goodell and Eminem hang out together?
Oh, no.
It's
What are we
been
selling here?
It's like this. It's been really sweet to be with you, Em. Or do I call you Eminem?
Although somebody who makes
Mr.
$40 million
Eminem.
a year, I don't know.
Do I call you M or Manem? Do I call you Marshall Mathers? Which one do we say?
Mr. Mathers.
Oh, my goodness. So making fun of Roger Goodell is part of an NFL draft, background.
Everybody's doing it.
That's right. And Detroit's going to be one of those cities that's going to go after him. Let's kick off some of the discussion here about some of these players for the University of Utah who are you mentioned, one of these guys that you go, oh, because your Cole Bishop's going to get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Jonah Ellis is likely going to get drafted. There are names across this list though. Satoa Lamea, Keaton Bills. Those are two linemen for Utah that, everybody, those names are well known in Utah lore now, but where are they going to fit in when it comes to a draft process? You brought up Devon Vele last segment about a guy that you really, really like, that a team should keep their eye on a guy like him. Miles Battle, we talked about his 40 time, and he's a sub 4.4 guy. He's a 4.3 plus guy. That is nothing to sneeze at. Your 40 time sometimes by itself will get you drafted if you are a good enough athlete.
For sure. If Al Davis was up there, he's like, I want him.
Give that guy to me.
Fast guy. That's me. I don't care about
it.
anything.
It feels like he's still making picks for the Raiders, which is really, really weird. Because unlike most people, Alex kills off. He's actually dead.
Jeez.
He's no longer with us. All
Those Raiders.
Let's talk, though, about some of the guys we've already mentioned a little bit of, but let's start with Sione Vaki, because that's a guy on the list right now where some guys have had ATH written next to his name. They've had safety. They've had the big S next to him. Running back is sometimes associated with them, but like right now, guys like Mel Kiper are putting him as a running back. Is that his future, and is that the best future he's going to have? And if that's the case, what is the team going to get with Sione Vaki at running back?
And that's what everybody needs to pay attention to. Mel Kiper doesn't know everything, you guys. So, everybody's like, oh, Mel Kiper said it must be it. No, that's just somewhere where you can categorize and put this guy. Honestly, Sione Vaki is one of those guys that I think if he does get drafted as a defensive guy, he'll have success. If he does get drafted as an offensive guy, he'll have success. Anywhere you put this guy, I think he's extremely focused and he can get the job done. When he made the transition to running back, I remember it was the Cal game. They only had 3 plays in at that time. And he went off for 150 yards on 3 plays in the offensive playbook. And that's because of his I talked to Coach Witt after the game, and Coach Witt wanted to make sure to tell me that was my idea. I wanted him. That was my idea to move him to offense, because I just remember how dynamic. He set all kinds of high school records in California. Sione Vaki did at the running back position, but he's just an elite athlete, and he's just one of those guys with good character that can literally make whatever situation he's in work. And that's the type of guy you want in your football team.
Witt puts guys into the league in the best position that
possible.
he thinks that they're going to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a weird moment where they go, hey, I know you were setting all the offensive records in California. You will go to the NFL as a safety, which he probably could, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the reality is now in a weird twist because of what happened last year. We're going to ask you to be running back, and that might be the best version of Sione Vaki going forward. That's kind of crazy to think.
Imagine Utah's season last year, as frustrating as it was, if Sione Vaki didn't emerge as that running back option. They really needed him to step up, and he did. And I think, Sly, he showed enough on tape for NFL teams to go, wait a minute, this guy can play running back in our league. Why? Because what are running backs doing right now that they didn't do maybe 15 years ago? They really have an emphasis on catching the ball out of the backfield. And what Sione Vaki showed is he took the ball to the house on a wheel route over and over and over again. Like just simple plays, he turned into 60-yard runs for touchdowns. He had great hands. So he's flashed the great hands. We know he has the strength and the
dynamic,
and he's just so big and strong. Like you say, you said on the show on KSL Sports Live, like he's bench pressing and squatting with the linemen.
Yeah,
like this dude is freakishly strong. You combine all those things together, and like he sounds like the perfect running back in today's NFL. You don't need him to carry the ball 30 times, but nobody carries the ball 30 times. Maybe outside of you've got like. I don't know. Does anybody even carry the ball 30 times? I can't think of one off the top of my head.
When you're paying your quarterbacks $500 million, you better not give your ball the
right.
running back.
I think like Derrick Henry was like the closest in the most recent memory. It's like 28 and a half.
And how's that going the last year or two?
He's now on a different team.
Exactly.
Who the quarterback is now the leading rusher.
Exactly. Right. So you don't need a running back to do 30 a game.
Exactly.
You need him to do maybe 10 to 15, and then you throw the ball. You target them 5 times in a game.
As an RB2, 12.
Right.
I mean, you get 8 to 12 per game, and that's just rushing attempts. right? If you are versatile, and we talked about this, the comparison for Sione is what, right? Marshall Faulk. You want to go back to that air raid, early greatest show on turf days of St. Louis Rams, watch Marshall Faulk and then put Sione Vaki there. He will kill it. I mean, these quarterbacks would absolutely love him. We talked about his strength, so he has good pass protection if he's in there, but he just literally puts defenses in a complex. When he comes in for those supplemental plays, defense is going to be like, oh, Vaki's in the game. Watch out for X, Y, Z. You have no idea what's coming. You don't know if he's going to line up an empty and motion back into the backfield and then motion back out to the slot and then run an H route on you. Like, you have no idea what's going on, but he makes the defenses think harder. And so it's crazy. Or you make the defenses have to go simpler with their play calling. We have to go basic cover 2 because this guy's in the game. And so that's just an offensive threat that anybody would invest in. If you're smart, use him as a decoy. Yeah. Right? You make him do all this motion, everything on the other side, and then you have Devontae Adams on the other side just going ham one-on-one.
We haven't talked very much about Laumea or Bills, by the way. Those are two names we haven't brought up much of. What kind of value could they bring to a team? I mean, the likelihood is they're both projected to be those preferred free agents, right, to a team. Which
Day 3 free agents. Yeah.
Right, and that's a really, really good route, too, because you might get a couple offers there, and you can actually pick. Of all the guys that are getting drafted, Caleb Williams might try to pretend like he's going to pick where he goes. But the reality is there are going to be some guys who cash in. They get some bonus money by making that signing happen, and then they go to a team that they may have a couple of different options to go to. What can Satoa Laumea and Keaton Bills bring to teams?
Well, that's another thing too, right? I talked to my boy Nick Ford, right? He had the option of choosing free agent, and he would have chose a different team. So it's not always that I got into this situation. He went to Jacksonville. That wasn't the best situation for him, right? They were completely revamping that whole team. They had tons and tons of new guys, which he thought was like, cool, that'd be my opportunity. But again, he was undrafted free agent. They gave their draft picks more of the opportunities. So again, he never got to shine. If he would have got a chance, he would have went somewhere else. So it's not always sunshine and rainbows, and it's kind of like, I gotta guess right if I'm an undrafted free agent. So there's always that. One, Satoa Laumea has played both tackle and guard, so he's versatile. Right. You know how important that swing guard, swing tackle that can play both sides of the line of scrimmage are. And honestly, for me, JJ, we broke it down. Yeah. He played better at guard for me. I trust Satoa Laumea at guard. The way he pulls, oh my gosh, look out. Head on a swivel. That's Chris Kimiatu. And I know that very well because I played with him on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you do not want to catch juice on a pull block. You do not want to catch juice on a pull block. But Satoa Laumea is the same way. I remember he totally demolished this guy from USC on a pull block, and I know NFL scouts are all about that. So me, Satoa Laumea, and Keaton Bills both fit that guard mix, which these athletic interior linemen are great. Keaton Bills is just so stout in his lower body, he's immovable. Once you make contact with him, he doesn't give ground, and that's awesome. Very smart, very good position. But I think if he goes to the right team, I don't know what team that would be, he could literally make a whole career for himself.
You've really made the case for Devon Vele. We know you love him. If I'm going to play devil's advocate here, I'm going to say, well, he's 25 years old. His numbers aren't great. How do you convince your draft room, if you're an NBA GM or a scout, that don't pay any attention to that? This guy will make plays for you. You need to draft him.
I mean, again, you got to play the numbers game, right? You're going to get him in the later rounds, which is totally fine, right? The only real long investment that you have to be worried about as a team is in those first few rounds, right? So you can get 3 years out of a 25-year-old. That makes sense to me. One, he is 25. You're not going to have character issues with this guy. He's married. He's got all of the other intangibles. Come from a great program. He's been working. He's 6'4", 6'5". He's a blocking receiver. He's a blocking receiver. So if you have a dynamic, so Baltimore, listen up. If you have dynamic running backs or you run a lot, you need a guy that's going to block for you. He did nothing but block here at Utah, right? Yeah. With him and Solomon Enis, they were two great blocking receivers when they had Tavion Thomas in the backfield. And that right there, honestly, is what sprung a lot of our big runs. And so he's a blocking receiver, 6'4", 6'5", that can literally execute, has great hands. That's a huge investment. And he's getting him in late rounds. You can invest a year, 2 years. Why not? You take risk on a lot dumber decisions than that. Like, Devon Vele makes so much sense, and that's why he's a steal of the draft, because not a lot of people are going to be talking about him, but he's going to come to the table and bring a lot of value to your team.
And real quick, Miles Battle, a guy that's probably going to be an undrafted free agent.
Right.
Why do you think he's going to be able to stick in the NFL?
I don't think he'll be an undrafted free agent. I actually think
You
he'll
think
be
he's gonna
drafted.
get drafted? Okay.
I do. I think he'll be a fifth-round draft pick.
Wow.
I do. And simply because if you watch his pro day, which I know a lot of people didn't get in there, he was impressive.
Yeah.
He was extremely smooth in his running, and this is why I say he's getting drafted. He comes from the SEC. And what did we talk about earlier? Pedigree, and what school did you come from?
Yeah.
Right? He comes from the SEC. He did go to a good program after he transferred, right? Utah's a good defensive program that's putting caliber NFL cornerbacks, Jalen Johnson, now the highest paid, or one of the highest paid cornerbacks now. You do that at Utah. So you come from the SEC, went to a good program, started, has the body of a 6'4", 6'5" corner, which is rare. We talked about Sauce Gardner, right? I think he's going to be drafted. He's definitely going to be a steal as well. Great character guy. You have no issues with him. It'll translate. But, there are some skills that you'll have to invest and coach him. And what Mike Tomlin said this past offseason, coaches are afraid to coach. He called out other coaches.
Yeah.
So you can't sit here and say like, oh, he does bad hands. He does it. He looks in the backfield. Coach him to not do that. And you're going to get a steal in the draft.
What's the thing that people look at when you talk about Utah as a program that when you say, well, comes from a good background, SEC, you think about some of those schools, you think about some of the Big Ten names, that are out there, whatever. But when people think of Utah in these war rooms, that are making these draft decisions, what are they thinking about what they're getting with a guy?
Same thing you hear from other coaches when they play against Utah. What is the
toughness, grit?
Tough.
They're going to out-physical you? Yeah.
That's exactly what these NFL GMs are saying now. They weren't saying that all back in the day because, we were a smaller school, but now we've done so many great things over the past decade and a half that, we have a staple in the NFL of putting out high character guys. There's not Utah guys that have issues in the league, right? Eric Rowe. He played forever and played for multiple teams.
Still
High
played
production.
with the Steelers last year.
Played with the Steelers, came in and made hay last year,
2
right?
Super Bowl rings.
He was absolutely awesome. You're getting high character guys that you can rely on time and time again. And if you get that right attributes, right, the player attributes that you're looking for as far as the stature, the experience, the playmaking ability, you're going to get an Eric Weddle type of guy. So I think Eric Weddle really set the stage for a lot of Utah guys and this Utah culture here. So that's the biggest thing that I think comes out of these war rooms. I'm getting a tough, physical, good character guy.
Let's take another break. We'll come back. We've got tons still to jump into.
All the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The draft in Detroit's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see which quarterback goes where.
Yeah, me neither. You think I'd make a good NFL quarterback?
Well, you'd have to go to college first.
Damn.
No, he doesn't have to go to college first.
Is that going to be on Netflix? I'll watch that. Eminem goes to college.
Oh, you know what? Eminem plays quarterback. That also I would watch.
Any guesses on Eminem's age?
Oh, I'm going to say
47.
Oh, you know what? That's pretty darn good. He's going. So Nate's going 52. I'm going to go between that. I'm going to say. I'm going to say 49.
51 years old.
No!
Marshall Mathers is 51.
No, Nate thinks he won, but we actually played.
Hey, this is the Price is Right.
You're actually
wrong.
over. You're over. You're out. I'm gonna go $1,
Or Happy
Bob.
Gilmore, this Bob Barker. The price is wrong, Bob.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they were like Eminem. I almost called him Marshall. No, I call him Marshall.
Like your mom says.
Eminem goes to these things, and they're like, he knows he's gonna take a hit doing these commercials with Roger Goodell. Like, some of my like street cred goes out the window when I'm sitting next to Roger Goodell, going, And Roger Goodell, by the way, Eminem looks like an Oscar-winning actor compared to Roger Goodell, who's like, I think you have to go to college first. Like, such bad acting. Come on. Goodell, you get paid $70 million a year. Why don't you take some acting lessons?
Whose paycheck am I talking about?
Goodell's not a human being. He's actually a cyborg.
He's a robot.
It's not real.
I really do think. What is his newest salary? Hold on, Goodell.
Oh man,
It's gonna make you sick.
Yeah.
$60 million?
No, it's that was just for.
Come on.
The deal expires this year. He's going to do a new contract at the end of this spring. So
$25 million. He gets QB money, doesn't he?
No.
Bigger than that.
He's right. It's $65 million.
Oh my!
A year.
Isn't that crazy?
That was
It's
just
a $1
for.
billion company. Somebody at the head of it.
Yeah.
60 million.
Compare
$65 million.
that to Gary Bettman, who makes $9.6 million a year.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, $9 million. Like he's
crazy.
he's the blue collar of the. He's the blue collar guy at $10 million a year. He's the blue collar commissioner.
He's your plumber commissioner.
He's
Actually,
over
plumbers
here.
make a heck of a lot of money.
I was gonna say.
Shout out all you plumbers out there.
Shout
You're
out
smarter
to
than me.
Shout out to the $9 million a year plumber, Gary Bettman. All right, let me see here. Yeah, he's gonna get an extension. He's gonna get paid. I bet that's gonna go up to $75 to $80 million a year per year.
Crazy
Yeah.
money.
Let me see here. Let's do some draft rumors, shall we? Yes. Reports are that the Pats are going to make some. There are offers out there for the Pats' number 3 pick overall. Don't the Patriots have a problem? They have a quarterback problem, right?
They have a lot of problems.
Bailey Zappi, who I swear is one of my kids' girlfriends' names.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, that came left.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, Bailey Zappi. Oh, she's great.
How many followers does she have on
she's
Instagram?
at Kaysville Junior High. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is that a Utah name?
Oh, it has to be.
Bailey Zappi.
No, I know a million Baileys. I know a million Baileys.
Extra Y on the end.
Lee.
EEEs, yeah, I was gonna say. So reports are the Pats are looking to maybe deal that number 3 pick.
Smart.
I don't know. I don't know.
I like it. If they can get value from it, extra picks.
There's some
tons
teams
of
out there,
quarterbacks
right?
out there.
So the Vikings.
Don't take a deal.
The Minnesota Vikings are a team right now that got Justin Jefferson, a receiver. They've got a lot of weapons. That team's pretty loaded. All they're missing is the quarterback now without Kirk Cousins. Are they desperate enough to go that high in the draft to get the guy
who would
they
they
want?
pick if they jump that high?
Patriots, you should listen to nobody. You have no quarterback.
Everybody loves J.J. McCarthy right now for some
hot
reason, including my Broncos.
I hope that J.J. McCarthy goes to either I want him to go to Denver, or I want Bo Nix to go to Denver because
You want JJ to go to Denver?
But it's for the same reason that I wanted Bo Nix to go there, because their reporters will get Zach Wilson and
side by side,
and JJ McCarthy. It'll get Zach Wilson and Bo Nix totally confused. Here comes Bo Nix. That's Zach Wilson. Sorry, look exactly the same. So yeah, Patriots, you do not have the luxury of going, we'll listen to some offers. They say they've been laughable. The laughable thing is that you're even listening. You need a freaking quarterback. Stop listening to offers. You need a quarterback. You have zero. They did this last year.
I would entertain it.
They went into the. I guess you'd be dumb. Any good GM would say we'd be dumb not to listen.
How many picks can you get for trading
That's
that
what
number
I'm saying.
3? Because
What is
the
the
Patriots
value?
need everything.
With this draft, you guys just said it, or Luke said it when he was on, the receivers. You know, if they didn't have these top-tier quarterbacks and Caleb, like, they would be up. They are dominant guys. There's a lot of talent in the first 10 picks of this draft. If you can trade.
If I'm the Patriots guys, I'm like trading down. Maybe you trade down with Minnesota or whatever.
I like Minnesota.
You can
That
get
was a great trade.
you get one of these great receivers.
You can get Penix at 10 or 11.
Penix might drop to the second round.
Exactly, for me. Yes.
And you can get Penix later. I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not
come on.
sold on Drake May. I'm not sold on J.J. McCarthy.
Either am I.
You know what?
Not that high.
Hey, Patriots, now that I think about it, it's smart. Make the deal.
Look
and
at
then
you.
pick Keaton Slovis in the 4th round. He'll be great. Things will be fantastic for you.
BYU fans just
gotta
threw.
get
BYU fans just threw something at the stereo.
Take Keaton Slovis in the 4th round. He's value. He's a value
pick.
pick
If you can get
there.
good value, I think you can get a good quarterback that can manage this team.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I think the Patriots are a team that should be about volume, not about
Now-
going getting the big name.
They need a lot. Quarterback is one thing, but they need a lot.
If they draft this quarterback like Drake May, and their offensive line is what it is right now, Drake May is going to be in a body bag by game 3.
Oh, what? Instantly. Just straight trash.
Listen.
They can get Cam Rising next year, so,
There you go. Well, hey, if I'm the
Okay.
Patriots,
Come on, Patriots.
if you're looking long term, yeah, I am looking at
that's a
2025.
long-term guy.
Right?
Right?
All right. The Broncos. Now, this is the stuff that I love when it's like, which GM is lying? Who's lying about this? The Broncos are reportedly so interested in J.J. McCarthy right now to be their quarterback. True or false?
It's all false. This is
I
all
love that
rumors,
stuff.
just like nobody likes Sione Vake BS. I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
The scouts at the pro day.
I didn't like his bench press reps, right? And they just say some garbage to be able to get past
something
it.
stupid. If you would have watched these scouts salivate over Sione Vake at the pro day, you'd be like, okay, I get it. They made him redo reps because they wanted him to do good. We don't think that was good enough. We think you can do better, Sione. Redo this for us. They requested it? That's because the people are telling them make sure you get good numbers and good tape on Sione Vake.
Sure. Yeah. The Raiders have apparently, speaking of, okay, true or false, the Raiders attempted to trade up to get the number 2 overall pick from the Commanders. Likely to take Jaden Daniels. I don't know what the connection is between Jaden Daniels and...
JJ will tell us.
It's a family show, JJ.
I can't tell you live on the radio. How about that?
It's a family show, JJ.
All I'm going to
That
say
was a
is
masterpiece of dog shit.
Antonio Pierce is very close
Very
with Jaden
interested.
Daniels' family.
It's family matters.
That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, my goodness.
So don't be surprised if the Raiders trade up to get him because
Fine. Now, true or false, this one is, I will tell you, already true. Giants ownership are reluctant to trade up for a quarterback considering that they've paid Daniel Jones so much.
oh boy.
It's the stupidest move they could have did.
And
What's
now,
wrong with the Giants? Man?
the Jets?
New York
I
does
love
dumb
how,
stuff. Whether you're the Jets or the
Yeah,
Giants, you just do
Jeez.
dumb stuff repeatedly.
So what do you have? You got that meme of the Supermans pointing at each other. It's the Jets.
Yeah,
it's
the
the Jets and
Spider-Mans.
it's the Jets and the
Same stadium, baby.
it's the
The
Jets and the Giants
multiverse.
pointing at each other. It's just so
It's
dumb.
the Giants Jets multiverse.
Is it my year or is it your year
Yeah.
to do dumb
Throw
stuff?
it. Hey, throw
Which-
the Patriots
which
in
year?
as that third Spider-Man.
You
The
suck as
Patriots-
much as I suck.
Right.
AFC.
Come on, let's go. All right, we gotta take another break here. I love when you read stuff and you know immediately it's some GM who's just lying about it.
It's a rumor from Team
We
Hill.
love J.J. McCarthy. Gosh, I said it wrong in the press conference. Shoot, no one's gonna believe us that we want to take him when we pronounce his name wrong. Yes, J.J. McCarthy's not going to be a Broncos quarterback. If he is, it's because that's all that's left at that point. All right, let's take the break. We'll come back, wrap things up this hour, and we'll jam a little bit more. By the way, this portion of the program brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your local trusted financial fiduciaries, 801-899-7600, or their website, TrajanWealth.com. We will come back, and we will throw out some best and worst of our draft coverage day. Stay here, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
There's these guys who, they call them poachers, that will just get your signature and try and sell them. I chose a different name every day. I tried to make it funny as possible. I think my uncle bought one of those balls because I just was signing funny names. So
Which name did your uncle buy?
I don't know if you've seen the SNL skit. It's an old one. It's Celebrity Jeopardy, and like Turd Ferguson comes in. So I signed Turd Ferguson.
Boy, that is that's a special one. Anytime you can work Turd Ferguson into an interview, I think the joke is on all of us.
Yeah. It's a love-hate with his statement there.
Jackson Powers Johnson, formerly of Corner Canyon fame, now of Turd Ferguson fame. That's how he said. And by the way, Jeremy actually found a piece of the memorabilia that was signed Turd Ferguson, right? What was it going for?
He just saw pictures of cars.
Whatever
or
ends up
something.
doing, when we end up decorating this room, hint, hint, wink, wink. I'm just saying, when we start actually,
we've got to have Turd Ferguson.
We got to get
wall, right?
Turd Ferguson signed. We got to get Jackson Powers Johnson to.
You got to have him come in the studio.
Sign a couple of Turd Ferguson pieces of memorabilia for us, would you? Come on. I love it, and I think that's a kid who he's got a bright future, and it's fun when you can just kind of let loose on draft week because. What was it that you had said about it earlier, Sly? You were about to run your head through the wall? Like, that's kind of where your attitude was
unless you're like a Jackson Powers Johnson who's got it like, I'm going to be drafted in the first 2 rounds. I'm cool. I didn't know I was going to get drafted at all.
Picks in. Everybody, shut up. Here comes Roger Goodell.
eBay.
So important. How much?
$29.99 for 2.
For 2 of them?
That's an easy purchase.
Yeah.
P card that.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, I'll give you my P card number later.
They really are for sale. That's awesome.
I'm telling you, it's great because it's like
I want that.
It's like him setting up for a nice pass block. He's in Pass Pro, so that's what they do. They get with them because otherwise you don't get their numbers and their full body shot. You get them in Pass Pro. It's in the full yellow for Oregon. It says Turd Ferguson right across it. Let's go. Okay. Final segment of the hour here.
Great handwriting, too.
I know. It's just scribbling off. It's just scribbling off Turd Ferguson. So here's the one. So yeah, Turd Ferguson being the signature is one that's great. Now that's our best of our best and worst. The worst of our worst of our best and worst. By the way, our best and worst brought to you by Doug Smith Dealerships in American Fork and Spanish Fork, Subaru, Kia, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, all of it. Great service starts with great know-how, and nobody knows like Doug. The worst is offering Justin Jefferson. Could offering Justin Jefferson get the Vikings the number 2 overall pick? I don't know. Giving up one of the best wide receivers that's already proven. That's a bad deal, right? You tell me. Is that a bad deal? You give up Justin Jefferson just to be able to get a number 2 pick?
Absolutely not. You do not give up Justin Jefferson. That's just that.
What if you could have access to such amazing talents as
unless you're getting
Jaden
Caleb
Daniels
Williams
and Drake May
for that? Because you're gonna sit here and gamble on an unproven fact. These quarterbacks, they drive prospects. Oh, we've talked about them. Oh, great, they're gonna be awesome. Blah blah blah, and watch them poop down their leg. Right? Like Justin Jefferson is a proven.
Do we have some video for that, Nate?
No, we
some
don't
B-roll.
Roll it. See it on the screen.
Jefferson is a proven commodity. You do not get rid of that because you've had guys like Kirk Cousins come in who's a competent quarterback. If you get a competent quarterback, Justin Jefferson will make you look great, along with Jordan Addison, along with T.J. Hawkinson over there. They got talent over there. Get a quarterback. You need a competent quarterback that can deliver the football. There's tons of quarterbacks that can do that. Not worth jumping up to the number 2 pick.
Justin Jefferson's 24 years old.
There's receivers who are older than him going into the draft right now.
Jeez.
Wow. Devon Bailey is one of them.
Yes.
That's pretty wild. It feels like he's been in the league already for a long time, but
those LSU guys in 2019.
Crazy.
That team was so loaded.
That's the
Joe Burrow. I see Burrow.
That's Joe Burrow, and that's also the $100 bills. That's the $100 bills getting thrown around the.
Yep.
That's Coach Orgeron. Hey, sweet, I'm coming home for a ham sandwich.
Hey, take it easy on that cigar, there, boy.
Is that Ed Orgeron? We're coaching in the Bayou.
I can't believe it's turned into Sling Blade. The Sling Blade of coaches. Ed Orgeron. All right.